socioeconomic context. According to Garcia 2005, there is a possibility that the Filipinos will be blamed whenever there will be something wrong happen in the Philippines. Rizal made this as a basis to analyze the social and political conditions of the time. This was the way of Rizal to prove to all that indolence was the cause and not the effect of the last progression of the country. Even in the record of some Spaniards, namely Morga, San Agustin, and Colin, they proved that the pre-Spanish Filipino was honest and hardworking. They became known because of their activity and honesty. Also in the industry of manufacturing, mining, and commerce, they definitely made flourish among them. Rizal actually made a thesis about the Filipinos are not nature indolent, basically information on the causes why his people didn't work hard during Spaniards' administration.
Rizal's assertion, Filipinos were not born lazy but had a predisposition or a tendency to become lazy. Well, I think it is normal to be lazy sometimes but not always. And there's a reason why someone is being lazy. Acknowledging the tendency for the Filipinos to become more indolent due in part to the tropical climate. It is not easy to cultivate the farm under the burning heat of the sun. Rizal noted that the European who was surrounded by the servants was paragoned by the laziness in the tropics. And since the Philippines is also a tropical country, it is possible for us to possess such characteristics. According to Garcia et al. 2005, people in the tropics are expected to work less. Hot climate, however, was compensated by the fertility of the soil. Hence, peasants did not have to work hard to ensure good crops. Long before the coming of the Spaniards, Filipinos were industrious and hardworking. They were very active in agriculture, industries, and commerce. The Spanish conquest of the country brought a decline in economic activities because of the Filipinos abandoned their pre-Spanish economic industries and worked less than their ancestors, according to Zaidi et al. 2008. Some of the reasons are because the taxes were outrageous to the point that the large amount of their earnings went to the government or the friars. They were reduced to immobility when the purpose of their labor was removed and they were abused. Many people have left the fields because of this, as well as the abuse they have received from the encomenderos, or the person who has the right to extract labor and tribute from the natives who were under Spanish rule.
So I will explain to you all the deterioration of the industry in the Filipinos. Basically, Spaniards concluded that the reason why the economy here in the Philippines are declined was due to their indolence. But according to Zaide 2008, the deterioration attributed to two factors. First is attributable Spanish colonizers, and second, those attributable to Filipinos' own fault. We will discuss first the deterioration attributed to the Spanish colonizers. Native uprisings and other internal divisions that came as a result of the introduction of Spanish power. First is war. The Filipinos fought for Spain in conflicts against the Dutch, Portuguese, English, and other opponents. Second, frightful raids, the terrifying attacks on Christian Philippines coastal towns and villages by Mindanao and Sulu Muslim or Moro pirates. Third is forced labor. Thousands of Filipino laborers were forced to work in the Philippines as a result of forced labor. Shipyards, roads, bridges, and other public works projects have resulted in the abandoning of industry, trade, and agriculture. Fourth is the lack of stimulus to work harder. People were not motivated to work harder since they couldn't enjoy the fruits of their effort. Fifth is the government negligence. Agriculture, manufacturing, and commerce have all suffered from government negligence and disinterest. Sixth is bad example by Spaniards. The Spaniards, for example, of despising physical work or manual labor. Seventh is the teaching of Spanish missionaries. Because of Spanish missionaries thought that it is easier for a poor man to reach the paradise than it is for a rich man. That's why Filipinos opted not to work and live in poverty so that they may easily enter heaven after death. Eighth is gambling. Spanish authorities' encouragement and propagation of gambling. And lastly is the Spanish education system. The Spanish educational system did not encourage commercial initiative and efforts since as Rizal put it, the native's education is from his birth till he goes into his tomb, brutalizes, depresses, and dehumanizes him, robbing him of his dignity.
Deterioration attributed to Filipinos' own fault. Feeling of inferiority. The problem is not yourself. It is the way how you look at yourself. If you feel inferior, then inferiority will be yours, of course, because you will possess those characteristics that will tell you that you are under them, and the outcome of that is that you will be abused of those who possess the feeling of superiority. Placing hopes on miracles. This is one of the characteristics of the Filipinos. Bahala na si Batman. If you want to achieve something, work for it, sacrifice for it, because it will be worth it. Placing hopes on miracles, and if the outcome contradicts on what they are expecting, they will feel stressed. Lack of spirit to pursue lofty purposes. Filipinos are known for being hardworking, but for some reasons, there are times where they lack the spirit to pursue their goals for the reason that they think it seems impossible for them to achieve it. Achieving your goals is only possible if you have that trust in yourself. Lack of national sentiment. Rizal explains that this was because the Filipino submitting to the thought that they are inferior. This is why Rizal's essay has promoted a sense of nationalism. It highlights and acknowledges that Filipinos lack unity and nationalistic values due to oppression and lack of opportunities. Rizal concluded his essay by stressing the need for good education and liberty as keys to achieving progress and to solve the indolence. Rizal opened the Filipinos to the injustices brought upon by the colonizers while defending the Filipino values. Moreover, he expressed that a sense of unity amongst the people could be a turning point for change that the country desperately needs.